The following video is purely informational. It is not meant to glamorize any individual or their crimes. Some of the images shown may be disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer, a man shocking even among the ranks of American serial killers, has acknowledged that the carnage he left behind is hard to comprehend, even for him. "It's hard for me to believe that a human could have done what I've done," Dahmer said, "but I know that I did it." Born to a middle-class family in Milwaukee in 1960, Dahmer started to show troubling signs as a small child. He was infatuated with the concept of death and collected the carcasses of dead animals. His father noted that his son was oddly thrilled by the sound of clacking animal bones. Dahmer and his family moved to a suburb of Akron, Ohio around the time he started high school. Socially ostracized, he became an alcoholic. While he was in high school, Dahmer realized that he was gay. He began to have alarming sexual fantasies where he would rape the men that he saw. Just 3 weeks after graduating high school, Dahmer acted on these fantasies. He picked up Stephen Mark Hicks, an 18-year-old hitchhiker, and convinced him to come over to his house. When Hicks attempted to leave, Dahmer lost it. He bludgeoned Hicks and strangled him. Dahmer stripped Hicks naked and masturbated on his corpse. Dahmer then took the body to the crawl space, removed the bones, smashed them into fine powder, and dissolved the flesh with acid. Dahmer then briefly served in the U.S. Army, where he drugged and raped 2 soldiers. On his return to civilian life, he continued to drug and rape men. His crimes turned deadly once again in 1987 when he met 25-year-old Stephen Toomey at a bar. He claims that he originally intended to drug and rape Toomey, but he woke up to find his bloodied corpse underneath his hotel room bed. Later, he spent time in jail for child molestation. Upon his release, he met 24-year-old aspiring model Anthony Sears in a bar and took him home. Dahmer drugged, raped, and killed Sears. He preserved Sears' head and genitals in jars, the demented trophies of his conquest. Dahmer eventually returned to Milwaukee, and the next 2 years were the most violent and disturbing of his career. He kept pieces of his victims as trophies, used their bodies as experiments, drilled holes into their skulls while they were still alive, and stored body parts in his fridge to eat later. Dahmer's downfall came on July 22, 1991, when he convinced 32-year-old Tracy Edwards to come home with him. Edwards began to fear for his life after Dahmer threatened him with a knife and told him that he was going to cut out his heart and eat it. Edwards played along, but when Dahmer briefly left himself exposed, Edwards punched him in the face, escaped, and immediately led police to Dahmer's apartment. They found one of the grisliest crime scenes in the history of American serial killers. Dahmer admitted to all 17 of his murders and was sentenced to life in prison plus 70 years. He wouldn't serve most of his sentence, however, because a fellow inmate beat him to death with a metal bar in the prison bathroom on November 28, 1994. According to his murderer, Dahmer did not defend himself or fight back. He seemed to welcome death.